So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark just shut it down in Iowa while Angel Reese stared at rows of empty seats in her own backyard. One came home to roaring fans, the other to crickets. This wasn't just a game. It was a masterclass in who's really carrying women's basketball. And the fallout, let's just say Bayou Barbie is not happy. So let's get this straight. Angel Reese returned to LSU with the Chicago Sky. Her big moment, her supposed coronation. And barely 6,300 people bothered to show up. That's less than half the arena's capacity. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark touched down in Iowa and sold out 15,000 seats faster than you could type homecoming hero into your phone. This isn't a rivalry anymore. It's a reality check.
People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. And I want
Angel once declared that people watch women's basketball because of her. And for a hot second, the media ran with it. The self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie strutted around like she was the second coming of Diana Taurasi. But here we are, her big return. Her grand LSU homecoming was so underwhelming, it made open mic night at...
We've got Hailey Van Lith up is because it was Hailey Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese's return. Angel was not the only person. They had two players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200. I'm actually looking. There are tickets now in the bleachers, in the very, very back seats, in the nosebleeds, for about $200. There were $400 a couple of days ago, but since Caitlin Clark it's been announced Caitlin Clark's been injured, even though I just probably play that game, people have been selling their tickets. So Carver is completely sold out. This is what the arena looked like last night to watch LSU. They didn't open the upper bowl. They did not open the upper bowl, and the lower bowl was happening.
People want to pretend it was just bad timing, poor marketing, or a sleepy preseason matchup. But when you're the face of the sport, as she constantly claims, you don't need marketing. The fans show up for you, but they didn't. Now cut to Caitlin Clark's. Same league, same preseason, totally different universe or game sold out in 27 minutes. That Swift-level madness. People were refreshing Ticketmaster. Like it was the Aries tour. And they weren't just Iowa diehards. These were fans traveling hundreds of miles just to catch a glimpse of the real face of the WNBA. It's simple. Caitlin is the draw, Angel is the drama.
And obviously, look, the area of the crowd where the TV cameras are being shown was full. But it was under 50% capacity. There's no one in the upper bowl.
Let's not forget, this wasn't just any game. This was supposed to be Angel's moment. The player who made headlines with her trash talk or nil deals or fashion statements was finally returning to the place where she won a national title. The script practically wrote itself. Lights, camera, legacy. But what did we get? Dusty icicles, empty chairs, discounted tickets no one wanted. It looked more like a failed campaign rally than a WNBA spectacle. There were rows of untouched seats, entire sections just chilling, waiting for fans who never came. At one point, you could count the heads in the stands faster than you could count Reese's missed layups. Even the upper bowl was blocked off because they couldn't fill the bottom. Compare that to Clark's return to Iowa 15. Oizururo screaming fans, cameras flashing, standing ovations every 5 minutes. That wasn't a game, that was a cultural moment. That was women's basketball arriving. And don't tell me this is a one-off. We've got a pattern here. Caitlin Clark's games are moving. Arena's teams are literally upgrading to bigger venues to hold the crowd. She brings every game she plays becomes a local event. Jerseys fly off the racks, TV ratings. Spike scalpers make rent on her name alone, Angel. She's giving away tickets like Halloween candy. And people are still ghosting her. The media has tried to spin it every way imaginable. Angel's got personality. She's marketable. She's building a brand. Okay, but how's that brand doing? When it comes time to show up, let me break it. Down Angel had 300 fans show up in a city she once owned. Caitlin had 15,000 in a game that doesn't even count. And let's not forget Clark's preseason debut wasn't against a marquee opponent. It was Brazil. That didn't matter. People came for her. You want raw math. Clark filled 100% of her arena. Angel didn't even hit 50%. You could argue Caitlin's fans outnumbered Angel's by nearly triple, and they paid way more to be their Angels tickets. Dirt cheap, $15 on average. Hell, some were being handed out still couldn't fill the place, and it wasn't just the numbers, it was the energy or lack of it. Caitlin's homecoming had the vibe of a playoff game. Angels had the energy of a parent-teacher conference. One felt historic. The other felt forced to make it worse. Angel's mother, who also calls herself Angel Reese, by the way, jumped into the ring to throw shade online, clapping back at fans and reporters with a classic, "We celebrate championships, not ticket sales, ma'am." This wasn't about rings. This was about receipts. Actual receipts, ticket stubs, seating charts, photos of empty bleachers. No one's questioning what Angel did in college. We're questioning why. Now that she's in the pros, her fan base vanished like a Snapchat message. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark doesn't. Have to say she's the reason people watch. We know the numbers show at the sold-out arenas prove it. ESPN shoves her highlights down your throat for a reason, because she delivers no lip service. Just buckets. Angel's big flex used to be her social media, millions of followers, endless attention. But where were those followers this weekend? They sure weren't in the seats. You'd think someone with that kind of clout could at least fill a gym where she used to dominate, but the turnout said otherwise. It's wild, honestly. You have a self-proclaimed superstar who can't get her own campus to pull up. Then you've got a soft-spoken assassin from Iowa, turning preseason games into standing room. Only madness. The contrast is hilarious. Angel Reese showing up to a half-empty arena, like she's about to headline Coachella, while Caitlin Clark rolls into town and causes a citywide shortage of parking spots. And look, this isn't about hating on Angel. It's about facts. One is a hype machine without substance. The other is a walking bucket with receipts. Angel talks, Caitlin walks and shoots and passes and wins, and the fans, they know the difference. So now let's break this thing wide open. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting butts in seats, she's flipping the entire WNBA business model on its head. But Clark is trending in every metric that actually matters. Ticket sales revenue, TV deals, merchandise, and real-world attendance. One sells the story. The other is the story you've got. Caitlin Clark creating an economy everywhere she goes, hotels filling up, Uber drivers cashing in, arena vendors running out of snacks, local bars running specials with her jersey on the eye wall. It's not just a game anymore, it's an event. Then we check in on Angel Reese, whose team literally went out of its way to play at her alma mater and got hit with a type of turnout that screams, "We've moved on." This is the same school that once painted murals for her. Now they couldn't be bothered to show up with free entry and free parking. If LSU was Angel's kingdom, it just voted her off the throne. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's presence alone caused opposing teams to relocate games. Let that sink in. Other franchises are saying, our arena isn't big enough for a fan base. They're literally scrambling to make space for a crowd that's not popularity. That's gravitational pull. That's what happens when a player redeefs what a league can be. And yet Angel still talks like she's the moment, like she's the movement. And look, no one's denying she had a moment past tense, but it's Caitlin who's turning those moments into momentum. While Angel drops sound bites, Caitlin drops stats. While Angel rocks designer fits, Caitlin rocks defenders. Let's revisit those social media numbers one more time. Angel's got millions of followers, huge brand deals, Nike money, a GQ feature. You'd think she'd have the kind of fan base that would storm the gates to see her, but when it's time to prove it offline, crickets. The social media hype evaporates the moment the scoreboard turns on. Caitlin Clark doesn't need a personal hype squad. Her performance is the promo. No wild interviews, no look at me. Instagram captions, just buckets, wins, and viral highlights, and that's what fans are showing up for. Not gimmicks, greatness. Angel fans might say it's just one game. But come on, if she can't fill that game, the one marketed as her homecoming, then when is it going to happen if you can't fill the arena that made you? Where are you filling? Let's talk about that tour shirt. The fever dropped. It says every game is a home game. Savage, but also true everywhere. Caitlin plays becomes a house.